Welcome back to Jacob's Backyard Builds. Today we are working on the front brakes. These are 11-inch Wilwood 4-piston caliper brakes. Got new calipers, new rotors, new hubs, bearings. I had to buy some different studs. We're using 3-inch studs on here. It came with 1.5 inches. This is the Wilwood kit 140 11017DR. This is for 72 or 74 to 78 Mustang 2 and Pinto and a couple other cars. Ended up buckles. Someone modified these ones and the brackets would no longer go on them. So we got new steering knuckles or spindles, whatever you want to call them. So like and subscribe and we'll keep building this thing. Alright, I'm going to show you guys how to assemble your Wilwood 1040 11017 brakes for a Mustang 2 knuckle. So you're going to start off by taking your supplied bolts that it comes with. It comes with all your hardware. These are the two you need to mount your caliper bracket, which will sit on something like that. It'll bolt onto that lower hole and that upper hole up there. You are going to red Loctite these and torque them to 47 foot-pounds. We've got our Loctite on, set to 47 foot-pounds on here. There's that one. Set this down, make it easier. And there you go. Now I would be doing this on the car. I did this side on the car, but that side I've got to park so I can figure out what ball joints we need for it. And so I'm just assembling the brakes here on the bench. Next, you're going to get your rotor. It is marked for which way it goes. You're going to get your adapter. So it's dished on one side, raised on the other. Face the raised side up. Face the vents toward you with the arrow on the other side facing down. Line up your holes. Loctite your screws. Put them in there. Make sure they all go all the way down. And just barely snug them up hand tight so that this is nice and centered. And then you're going to go through and torque them in a star pattern to 25 foot-pounds. Now, T40. And you get the last one snug down here. 25 foot-pounds. Torque them down. Star pattern. So start anywhere. And then crisscross, opposite side, just like you're bolting down a wheel. Next, you're going to get your hub. There are 2 bolt patterns on here, the smaller one and the larger one. These are both Ford 5 lug. We are using the larger side. These are the lugs that it comes with. These are 1 3/4 inch. These are fine if these are what you're going to need. With the wheels that we have on this car right now and not knowing what we're going to go to, right now we're just going to put on the 3-inch, which is what we're on the old hubs. So I know that these work with the lug nuts we have. And you're going to put these in there, run them all the way down, and torque them down to 77 foot-pounds. And I'm getting all of this straight from the instructions. I just know some people find it easier to watch a video instead of trying to look at instructions and do it that way. So with a 1/2 inch 12-point socket, you're going to torque these to 77 foot-pounds. I've just got it kind of snugged up in the vise to hold it for me. So that's at 77. So there we are. So now I got to rotate this one more time. This is the last one I need to tighten up. These other ones are good. Next, take your rotor and adapter assembly, place it on top of your hub, line your holes up. Your fins are going to face toward the inside of your car, and you're going to, again, Loctite these screws, and these ones get torqued to 45 foot-pounds with a T45. Alright, we've got them all finger tight here. Now again, 45 foot-pounds with a T45 and a cross pattern. So this one, then this one, then this one, this one, then this one, just like a wheel. These are aluminum. Make sure you do a sequence pattern or it could warp on you. Next, you're going to want to get some heavy duty grease. They said heavy duty or high temp grease. This is what I'm going to use in it. This is what I've always used. You're going to pack your bearings. It comes with a larger inner bearing and a smaller outer bearing. So make sure you pack those nice and good. Get some grease down inside of here. You don't have to do that yet because you're going to have to pound a seal on here, and then you'll knock your grease out of there and make a mess. So get your bearings greased up. We're going to get this inner one put in here, and then we're going to get the seal put on. Alright, so we've got our bearing packed. We got it set in there. You're going to take your new seal. Red side goes down. You place that in there. Now there are seal tools. I do not have them. I generally use a rubber or dead blow mallet and just softly tap all the way around. Hold pressure on one side and tap on the other side and just work it in there, and it'll go in just fine without any problems. Just take your time. So I'm not going to show me doing that because I need both hands and I don't have anyone to hold the phone for me. Alright, that did not go as planned. The first one I did on the other side went easy that way. This one did not want to, so I ended up finding this socket of some sort that has this big lip on it, and that fit on there perfectly and drove it right on. So next, you're going to put this onto your spindle. So I'm going to get it set up over there in the vise. Put it on your spindle, get your front bearing put in it, and then you're going to get your factory nut put on there, and we'll get that tightened down. Now before you put this on, this is a good time to get some grease down inside your hub. So I just did that. I recommend using a glove. My hand's not all fucking covered. So yeah, we'll get this put on the spindle over there. And there's not really a torque spec for it. It's just kind of by feel. Tighten it down. You'll feel some resistance. Loosen it up a little bit and find your sweet spot. That's kind of the way I do it. If you got a better way, let me know. Alright. Now once you've got your hub tightened down, take your locking ring, put it on there, put a cotter key through it, take your cap, thread your cap on there, and that is all good. So that is the hub assembly. So next I will show you the caliper. Alright, so this is your caliper. This is a 4-piston caliper. So this is going to mount just like this onto your brass pieces there. Oh, my impact just fell over. So that goes there, and you take 2 of these washers on the top bolt and 2 on the bottom bolt and put them between the caliper and the bracket. And then you're going to torque it down to 40 foot-pounds, and you're looking for an even gapping here on your rotor. So make sure your rotor's nice and centered in there. And that's what the extra shims are for. Add some or take some out and get it centered. Once you have it centered, Take your bolts back out, red Loctite, torque them to 40 foot-pounds. So to check, make sure you're centered, put your pads in here. Should have a little bit of wiggle on them. So if you're not centered, one of them will be tighter. So these are about right where I want them. You're going to put your pin through, bend those over, and that's a completed assembly.